pollen in the air today is absolutely atrocious. Oh, okay. Now I'm going to do one of my old favorites. It's a little tribute to Christianity. I'm looking at what's going on in the East, what's going on in the Christian world here in the United States. And I think both sides have lost sight, because this all got started over a man named Jesus. So here's my version. Walked along the shores of old Galilee, doing good things to everybody that he did see. He got out on and made a blind man see, and he fixed up a dude with leprosy. And the Pharisees saw this man, and amongst themselves they said, hey, we could make a nickel off this dude. So they decided to find a way. And he walked along the shores of Galilee, said he turned water to wine at a party. He raised Lazarus up, and Mary filled her cup, and they took him away. Tried him in front of Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate said, no way, man, I wash my hands of this man of Galilee. As far as I can see, he's done nothing to me. Jesus took some things in his hand, drove out the money man. They were in the front of the temple, you see. And the Pharisees said, he's attempting to tell us what it says here. From the words of Abraham, our father, he cannot be the Savior. He's not the promised one, you see. So we'll put him up on Calvary. Walked along the shores of old Galilee, fed a multitude with just a few loaves and fishes. When he was done, there was enough left over, he said, give it to Dorcas and show the people that my Father has made you fed. And he walked along on the water that day. St. Peter almost had a stroke when the apparition spoke. Said, St. Peter, step out here on the water, it's me. And Peter said, oh Lord, I didn't know. He said, ye of little faith. And he filled up the boat with fishes till it damn near wouldn't float, you know. Walked along the shores of Galilee. And they took him up on Golgotha's hill, put a spear in his side, and his blood they did spill, and the water, they say, it flowed clear and crystal like God's holiness. And he came out of this thing, and he stood on a hill, and 3 disciples said with a thrill, "Oh, Master, take us to your place." He said, "I'm not here for you of this earth, but of my Father's goodwill. There's a mansion up there for everyone." And he ain't been back since then. I have to wonder in my own pure human mind, did God put in place something Satan could erase? I don't think so, and this is fucking why. Because I believe the story. And I see it not in a Bible, but in history. He walked along the shores of old Galilee, doing good to everybody you see. And they crucified him for you and me, so why? Whether it's not or true, I say to you, good can't be bad. Toodaloo! And I believe it. God made Adam and Eve. I got to tell you this story I want to put down. So the story goes. God made Adam first. And he blew his very breath into his son in his likeness. And he told his son, get a picture of this man. This is a guy in his early 20s with all his testosterone on board. And he's kicked back on the side of this grassy hill with flowers of every color you can think of, and butterflies and birds and things you can't even imagine, flying horses of gold. You name it. And God's got his arm around his kid, and he's looking out there and he's saying, hey, everything you see is yours. Go forward, be fruitful, multiply. Do you see the fly in the ointment here? So sure enough, Adam boogies on out. And he eats everything there is. You know, it was an herbivorian at the time, or a frutivorian, or didn't eat the animals. But, here it is, that dangling participle in the fabric of the God creation syndrome. But Adam was horny. So he mounted every animal there was he could get on. And there was human dogs and flying person frogs, and you name every version of a human and animal you can think of. And the week's done, the sun's going down, and he's sitting back on this knoll, and he's pondering his head, and his father appears out of wherever. It's God, you know. Remember, the creator, God. Flops on down, puts his arm around his son, and says, what's wrong, man? He said, Father, I've tried everything out there, but there ain't nothing like me. His father says, I can see you've been proliferating. There's everything you can think of. And by the way, this is where the Greek mythology comes from. My point, but I am schooled. Mo can prove it. And he says, well, son, what can I do for you? He says, Dad, I need something that's like me. And the father looks down at him and he says, son, I'll fix you right up. Pow! Pops him down. He's out like a light. rips a rib out of his side, sews it up so neat there's no scar, spits on the earth or pees on it or however it works, sweat, I don't care. Liquid came off of God and mixed with the red earth. And hey, there was no red earth before that. Remember, it was green and flowers and butterflies, but there's some red earth. And lo and behold, he blows breath into another man. Whoa! I mean, oh, whoa, man. And that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. My name is Roy David Dyer I. I was schooled in an Adventist school. I spent 4 years of my life cubby holy, studying every book I could get my hands on. I learned to read Latin. I learned to read Greek. I had a pastor that was with me, man, and I checked this all out, and I told this story one day, and they threw me out of the church. That's it. That's done. Thank you very much.